Why, hello everyone, and welcome to the stream, as the stream lags. Hello? Are we here? I think we're here. Like right at the end there was a blip of no output for whatever reason. Hi. Welcome. It's Tuesday, February 9th, 2023. We are going to be continuing our Factorio playthrough today. Did I just say that it was Tuesday when it's totally Thursday? It's Thursday. Yes, Thursday the 9th. Oh boy, it would be bad if it was Tuesday. I was distracted this morning. I was pretty distracted because a thought entered my mind. A line of thought about my computer. I was thinking to myself, what was the GPU journey that my computer has taken? Because I've had this computer essentially since around 2011, 2010-ish, when I first bought a pre-build from iBuyPower. That's how my desktop began, was as a pre-build from iBuyPower. It happened to be right at the time that the Sandy Bridge CPU architecture released from Intel, and it happened to be at the exact wrong time because the Sandy Bridge motherboards got recalled very quickly after the release because of an issue that would affect the SATA ports on the chipset. So I had ordered it, it had shipped, and the recall happened as it shipped. So I would have had to return it and have them change the motherboard out. And I wasn't going to do that. So I lived with it. And it lost SATA ports rather quickly. A lot more quickly than what was stated for the recall. A lot more quickly. Why? Because I had a freaking GTX 470 in that system. And that guy gets hot. 400 series got hot, super hot, and it happened to sit right over top of the chipset on the motherboard. And the issue was melting, and a melting issue from heat, that affected the SATA ports. That was the issue. So having a very hot graphics card over the chipset actually just made it happen faster. But I was thinking to myself, well, what did I get like between that 470 and the like more recent memory of me, which was two 980s right before my 1070 Ti, 1080 Ti that I have now. And I was thinking, like, what was that in between? I couldn't remember for the life of me. It was like, okay, let's look at my purchase history. Surely I made notes from like that era. Of course I didn't. I didn't actually start keeping written records of purchases until 2013. And yeah, that didn't help too much to answer my questions about what happened in between. Newegg, which is where I know that I made all my purchases during that time for tech. Yeah, for some reason it doesn't have purchase history from beyond 2013, from like older than 2013. Hello, welcome back, continuing your membership. Thank you so much, Vicky. So I was like, what the hell is going on? Surely I have documentation of some description on my computer, and I spent a really long time searching in vain for documentation on my computer. However, my saving grace is that I never deleted like important emails. I archived my important emails, and fortunately, even though I've like changed to a different way of handling my emails, I have in more recent times made a like centralized email account that all of my other email accounts like shove stuff to. It redirects everything to this primary email account now, and fortunately I had brought in the entire archive of all of the older accounts when I did that, which means that I got my order confirmations from Newegg all the way back from the very beginning. So I could actually see what the actual journey was, as well as every other purchase that Newegg is no longer showing on its website. And as it turns out, I went from a 470 to a 570. I went from a 470 to a 570 from Galaxy. I did that when the 470 was beginning to die and giving me blue screens. I proceeded to use the 570 until it also gave me blue screens, and I bought a 760. Now this is where I was confused, because I know that I had two of them. I remember specifically that I had two of a 60 series card, which confused me greatly because I had only purchased one on Newegg. And that was in 2013, and I actually had the order from that visible on Newegg's website. As it turns out, I bought another one at the beginning of 2014 from Amazon, another one of the exact same model, and I had two of them. These were MSI brand cards, and I specifically remember at one point, I actually bought aftermarket water cooling blocks for both of these cards, as well as a like little adapter thing that you could actually use to hook them up for SLI mode water cooling. And I had water cooled those, and I ended up selling them with the water blocks on them. I think I sold them together. I don't remember if I sold them together or individually, but I did sell them. When I upgraded to two 980 Asus Poseidons, that was a thing. That was expensive. So the Asus Poseidons had built-in capability for water cooling. It actually came with a couple like ports you could actually put water cooling in, and it was optional because they also had fans. So they had both fans and the ability to water cool, and I had done that. I did that, and until I got my 1080 Ti that I have now, which is air cooled. It's normal. I don't really do the full water cooling anymore. And I have sold one of those Asus Poseidon 980s. I still have another Asus Poseidon 980. It is my backup in case if anything goes wrong with my 1080 Ti. I know that I have that one stored away somewhere around here. I don't really remember where, but it's around somewhere and available. Which makes me think I technically have available around the house enough components to potentially actually just build another computer at this point, because I have a motherboard with a CPU and CPU cooler and memory that I guess technically isn't bad, because the issue ended up being a PSU. I would need a PSU. I would need a power supply that's functional, and a case. But I got GPU, CPU, motherboard, memory of old components. But yeah, essentially my computer over time has changed a lot, but I have never, all at the same time, replaced every part of it. So it is theoretically the same PC that I originally bought from iBuyPower at the very beginning. Theoretically, it's just each individual part has switched out over time to new and improved things. So, yeah. All that being said, let's get into the game. That was my morning. My morning was like trying to figure out what the heck happened with that data for my Newegg purchases from, I guess, 2011 and 2012, because it isn't immediately available online. Like, I know I bought a whole bunch of stuff through Newegg and from that time period when I was an undergrad in college, when I was attending Old Dominion University. Like, all that stuff died. Now, Amazon keeps everything. If you don't know this, Amazon keeps everything. Every order you've ever made, you can look back and you can get on Amazon. And it's actually really easy to find it in your order history. You can even download an Excel file with your entire order history. That's pretty fun when you look at that and realize how much money you've given to Amazon over the course of time. Yeah. So, things. I started using Amazon actually in 2009. My first purchases on Amazon were textbooks for my undergrad studies. Oh boy, so much has happened since. Well, things. What did we do last time here in Pyandon's mods? Well, I want to mention that what went live today was a general overview of PyAlien Life's changes to the cubs as well as to rendering. Extremely low effort, but still, I think somewhat important to at least talk about. It is a thing that changed from previously, even though it is rather self-evident as you play what's going on. Still important to talk about it. I don't know what the next tutorial will be, frankly. At this point, what I'm thinking of doing is I downloaded our previous stream. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out the discussion that we had of caravans and essentially just clip it and upload it as an individual video talking about caravans. Because I pretty much said what I had to say about caravans when we last met, and that can just be our caravan video, I suppose. As I supposes that can be the video. Because yeah, at this point in the game, I don't know what else necessarily needs or its own separate video. because I would like to fully get through to the end game before making additional videos or updates to any of the ore processing stuff and any of the individual like creatures in alien life. I want to experience the full progression. No, I guess technically I could do a video on like science videos for the sciences I've gotten to thus far, from a perspective of reaching it for the first time, because I've done that before, and things have changed significantly with sciences. That should be on the agenda. All right, well, just go ahead. Tell me, what do you want to know? What do you want to see? And I'll let you know if I have if I like already have a tutorial for it, if it's still somewhat relevant, because I do have a whole bunch of like videos, but the problem is a lot of them are now outdated. Anyway, things. Last time we met, I set up a few things, right? I did a couple of things. I forget exactly those couple of things. Early power generation. I need to think, because early power is also pretty self-evident. It's Steam. It's Steam. And also, with the early power, they've introduced this new fish turbine that really wasn't available when I first started this save. Hi, hello, Ollie. Hello, Ollie. I got my kitty on the floor. Ollie. Hi, Ollie. That's my Ollie. That's that big boy. Oh, he... get away. Ahem. Bah, 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 bah. Ahem. Dang, kitty. What are you doing? Ay, ay, ay. Yes, it... Mr. Stinky. Mr. Stinky here. You are burning coal, and you just got geothermal water. Well, my suggestion is don't do geothermal. Stick with steam, coal, whatever. Like... How many geothermal nodes do you have? Because the geothermal power has always been, it does not look good to me, and it hasn't looked good to me from the start. Really, none of the like really early alternative energy stuff has looked decent to me. Like the first thing that was good was coal power generation. What are you doing? Stop reaching. What are you reaching? Huh? What? You want this? You want this? Why do you want that? That's my ring. That's my ring case. That's my class ring. That's my class ring case. Here, you can have the case. I'll pull out my ring. I'll pull out my ring. Focus. Here. Well, I guess, what do I want to do? I want to do this. Hi, ring. Ring! My class ring as he knocks the thing down. This was my Old Dominion University class ring, 2013, Biological Science, Bachelor of Science. My BS in BS. This is, Blue Zircon for December, for my birth month. He knocked it down. He knocked it to the floor. He was around and he saw it, and it's apparently a toy. This box with this ring. It is not A silver ring. It is not a gold ring, it is just normal metal, but very, very strong metal. Yeah, so coal power was like the first that I was interested in. So my thing with the geothermal, where was my, like, where did I look at geothermal? I know I've done it at some point. Hellmod. Hellmod. What do we got? Which one of these is the thing with the geothermal? So I think this is the initial recipe. (500°C steam from geothermal. The output from one of these. Oh, come on. Hold up. Assembler. One of you. Oh, come on. Why do you not like behave in the way that I want you to behave? Like I wanna set you to factory. Yeah, one of you. There. So it makes 275. Why does it now not actually tell me anything I want to know? Reverse. Alright, well, fine, whatever. It's greater than 950. It's... Alright, so 275 makes 137.5 of the 500° steam, which... Going here. Going into this. Now, ideally you would use a heat exchanger for that steam and better thingies, but at the beginning of the game you can only really do 250, and the game does not apparently like me doing this. I need the engine. Where's the steam engine? Steam engine. Wherefore art thou here? You. $67 megajoules. It's like 67 megawatts. Yeah, it should be 20 engines. Should be 20 engines, and it makes 67 megawatts, or 66 and 2/3 for a single node. So you'd have 120 megawatts, which, I mean, if you are lacking on raw coal, I mean, that's a thing to do. It's just you have to also pay attention to your density on the geothermal, and bear in mind that the fish turbines exist. That fish turbines, they exist. Where's that? Ollie. Camera. Ollie. Hey. Teeth. Anyway, stuff. Things. What did I do last time? I've already forgotten. Let's not be as distracted. Last time, I set up phosphate processing, as well as trits. So phosphate processing was here, making phosphoric acid and phosphine. I have those two. They are moving. It's all set up, ready to go for our adventures today. Then over here, I set up trits. just built the factory for the trits, didn't actually finish the trits. In between streams, I have finished with producing the trits. I have finally gotten some into my storage. This process took hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours to complete because of all of the belt involved and all the backups needed for it. But yeah, I now have everything. Everything has its modules. Is there a way to generate power from liquids that have fuel values? Yes, but you need to unlock the oil burner. It is here. You need to unlock this thing and make intermetallics to build it. This thing will take anything with a fuel value, any fluid with a fuel value, and make 250-degree steam out of it. And you can use that steam. It generates 60 per second of steam. So that may be useful to you when you get intermetallics. Good, you just got the intermetallics. Excellent. So yeah, you could make these, assuming you've also got PyScience 1, you can make these now, and you could get power out of it if you have adequate production of fuel-valued fluids. Good luck with that, being net positive at the beginning of the game. Good luck with that being net positive at the beginning of the game, but you should have access to it now. Ideally, you would want to get to something like actual direct mining of fluids for that, but yeah. That is available. It is an option. I'm sure you're inundated with, like, coal gas and syngas while trying to get tar. I'm betting this is the process that's generating excess fuel-valued fluids on you at that point in the game, in the early game, as you're trying to get enough tar for other processes. So, that all being said, today I want to get into Kevlar, but I need to mention what I've done between streams, because I have done a couple other things besides finishing off the trits, and that would include improving my production on the trits by making sure that it has enough stuff to feed it, and that meant scaling filtration media. Now, what I've done over here in this vicinity is, I have scaled my stone production, not because I needed more stone, but because I needed more trains moving stone, at least for a period of time. This stone factory produces enough stone for the factory. It's just there are times it uses a lot more stone. Or my factory uses a lot more stone, and my trains, even this many, on the same station, can't keep up with it. I have a similar situation with raw coal at the moment. So I set all this up just to have extra. Hi, Ollie. Welcome to my chair. Congrats on getting PyScience 1. On to the next. Ollie, what are you doing? What are you doing, big boy? So over here I've set up some extra filtration media. We had previously used this recipe to set up 1 per second of filtration media. We had a factory doing our more advanced quote-unquote process that uses glass and microfiber. I decided that at scale, rather than try to make an additional 5 using this recipe, I decided I did not want to spend glass. I did not want to spend glass. I I value glass a lot more highly at this point in the game than I used to. So I've switched to the quote-unquote less efficient recipe that does not use glass but does use cellulose. Because I'm actually valuing cellulose a lot less now than I used to. I actually am considering cellulose at this point to be of a relatively low expense. It's still a significant amount of infrastructure, don't get me wrong. It uses a lot of space for everything involved in making cellulose. This does cost a lot of raw coal, effectively, when making cellulose, and salt, because it needs a lot of sodium hydroxide when making cellulose. That said, I still think that it's easier to produce cellulose than it is to produce glass. I am at this point, in my mind, it is easier for me to set up. It is less tedious for me to set up additional cellulose as well as additional sodium hydroxide and additional coke for said sodium hydroxide and additional salt for said sodium hydroxide. To me, that all of that process is easier than trying to set up additional glass and the additional gasoline I would need for said glass and the additional hot air I would need for said glass. So I've set up this. It does use some of my kickalc, not an insignificant amount of my kickalc. This process will change. This process will change the moment I get access to the coal to coal dust recipe. Ideally, I would much rather do the coal to coal dust recipe, even though it is a 1 to 2, and I would need 15 coal per second. It would mean not having to spend kickalc at all in this process. So yeah, that's what I ended up doing. Yeah, it's 50 pure sand. It's a big block of making pure sand, but it's something that I can just copy and paste. It does use a significant amount of stone. It uses 56 stone, which is why I set up stone mining. I set this whole thing up right next to a stone patch so that I could, mine the stone locally and not have my trains move it. So I have the stone, I have the pure sand, and stone into gravel. Production of the activated carbon. Basically, this whole part of the build is activated carbon, this whole thing. So if I wanted just activated carbon, I could actually just copy this segment of the build, and that's activated carbon separated from the filtration media, as if I would ever need activated carbon separated from the filtration media. But anyway, that is the thing. It makes up to 5. I don't know why these aren't moving. What's your problem, buddies? Why you have enough activated carbon? I've got plenty. I've got it. It's here. It should move fine. I know what the issue is. The issue on the 5 per second output here, not getting the full 5, is that it does use a significant amount of saline water when producing the hydrogen chloride in here. Which I want to make the hydrogen chloride locally because it happens to be at a perfect ratio where the amount of sodium hydroxide you get out from the chlorine and hydrogen to make the hydrogen chloride is equivalent to each other. So you need it makes the exact amount of sodium hydroxide that you need with the hydrogen chloride that you need when making the activated carbon down here. It's at perfect ratio in that system. But it does eat up a lot of saline, and I will need more saline, I guess, at some point. Anyway, that was the main thing I would say that I've done between streams. I scaled my syngas by an extra 2,000 units of syngas per second. This was, yeah, over 180 per second more raw coal. This would be the main reason why I would never suggest running the game on, like, normal ore settings. I would, in fact, never suggest running the game on normal ore settings, like with vanilla densities. That is pain incarnate. I would never, ever, 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 ever. And my videos that I make on my tutorials and guides are never going to assume that you are going to run on standard default ore settings. Because I just refuse to experience the game in that way. It's a combination of both. I didn't have enough trains. I have added more trains, and I don't have enough saline. It was initially not enough trains to move the saline that I had, but I also know that I don't have enough saline on top of not enough trains. So I've addressed the trains. It's just now I need more saline as well. Ah, boy, yeah, things has gone on. What am I going to talk about next? There was something that was eating a lot of syngas and was why I scaled the syngas. Yeah, I'm gonna have to consider guts for hydrogen chloride at some point, because there are a few situations where that actually might be a bit better to do. Plastic. I have scaled my plastic. I need to find my plastic. It was on that. It's here. Hi, plastic. Hello. I found I was having a deficient amount of plastic, so I decided I'm going to keep the aromatic syngas recipe for the plastic and just scale it. This is 15 per second plastic. It eats 1,500 syngas and 750 aromatics. Fortunately, I happen to have the aromatics, and it's very easy for me to scale the syngas. So even though the numbers are big, I have the production to support it. I was actually looking at plastic. So this is what I'm doing now. 1,500 syngas, 750 aromatics. Yeah, it's big numbers, but I can easily make these. Ish. Like, I can shove more aromatics onto the train network. I can shove an additional, like, 1,000 aromatics onto the train network in, like, 2 locations. Just 2,000 more aromatics. Just magically. Because I have need of a lot more gasoline than I do the aromatics, and so aromatics is like this high volume byproduct for the most part at this point that I can just add whenever I need it. Syngas also, I happen to need a lot of tar, but in this case I've made dedicated syngas. I'm actually voiding the tar out of those other systems, although I could tap into it and get an extra 1,000 tar for basically free. Yeah. So I did that. By comparison, we have 2 other recipes for plastic that are relevant at this point. We have casein, hot air, and formaldehyde. I was tempted by this one, frankly. I am tempted by this one. I would like to probably do this one in the long term, but because there's always a but, I need to set up Bodos first for this one. I would need Bodos set up before I would do this for plastic. And considering the building scales on this, I would probably set this up as 75 rather than as 15. Because this is actually halfway decent. In the alternative, there is plastic out of melamine. This was also intriguing to me because that's actually pretty cheap in the grand scheme of things. this is actually cheap. Like, super cheap. Cheaper than this. Cheaper than this one. So again, if I were to do this one, this recipe, I would want to do, like, full-on 75. But the implication here is I can get as much melamine as I want as well. Like, the implication here is that this build is essentially the same if I need melamine, if I need phenol, or if I need plastic. It's the same build for all of these things. So actually the phenol's not even the full thing. It don't even need the formaldehyde for the phenol part of this. So it's like, oh, okay. That's that I like this. But it would have involved building something new that I didn't already have, so I just defaulted just scaling this to cover the, like, plastic that I needed at the time. Okay, so we've had that discussion now. Because, you know, this is a very small factory, making 15, bringing in fluids from other stuffs. Alright, let's work. Let's get to work on Kevlar. I'm setting up 1 Kevlar per second at this point, and wouldn't you know it, we're going to use guts to make chlorine in this build. Ahem. Yes, we are going to use guts for chlorine in this build for the production of PPD. It's a very interesting process that I've decided to do for this because we need terephthalate chloride and it needs and we need PPD, and the PPD needs nitrobenzene. The nitrobenzene needs benzene. So it's like, okay, how am I going to get my benzene? Because I could do tailings from tar quenching, but as it turns out, because I also need aromatics in here, it's easier to set this up by taking tar and throwing it into a recipe that makes aromatics, tall oil, and light oil, and then using the light oil and tall oil to make aromatics and benzene. I am going to have to do military science. I will have to do that. That is part of the requirements for completing the game. I will need to do mil science. The victory technology uses military science packs to the tune of 30 per second of military science packs. So that is, yeah, not optional. And I also need to get military science for water fill. Because I will apparently need water for a creature that I have not yet encountered. There will apparently be a creature that the pen needs to be placed on water tiles, and yeah, that's gonna be interesting. That's gonna be interesting. Hostile? No, like, this is regular creature. It's just a regular creature that we have to, like, raise, farm, and it happens to need to be built on water. There's no hostile anything in here. It's just I happen to need to get mill science anyway, and I want to get water fill so I can have a nice arrangement of buildings for that particular creature. Okay. The other part of this that I was thinking about was I should really have a separate sulfuric acid factory. I should make a sulfuric acid factory at some point because yeah, it's getting a little bit repetitive having to copy the exact same thing over and over and over and over and over again. But, oh well, I have it to copy, so I may as well. I will also note that even though I'm planning to do things a little bit differently on here, I'm thinking of copying the existing build from... What was it? The Aramid. Yeah. So to make the terephthalate chloride, I can essentially just copy the build from Aramid, like the entire Aramid build, because it is the same. Yeah, let's let us copy the Aramid build. I need this part of it. And that's the TCL taken care of. I don't want to build here. I actually have a, yeah, I have a thing here already. Let's do this here. I can build this here. Yeah, we'll do that there. Yeah, this is 15 per second of cellulose whenever I need cellulose, and I've got a couple of these already. Because it makes wood locally, it just costs sodium hydroxide and a little bit of tar and ash and moss. Yeah, a few things, but they're free. Could even, like, tack on a moss onto that, make the moss local. If I really wanted to reduce my trains throughput needed. I've got a lot of train traffic around the base that could use reduction. Unfortunately, the reduction strategies for that means adding a lot more infrastructure to existing factories to make things locally. Alright, what are we going to do after Kevlar is a wonderful question, because this will not take too particularly long, I hope, for setting up Kevlar. We are working directly towards getting into Circuit 2s, although there are a couple of interesting, like, side projects along the way that need to be worked on, since heavy end-doped silicon requires antimony pulp 2. That complicates things a bit. So I was actually looking at antimony. Our current level of processing, our current tech level for processing antimony results in these numbers if we want 15 oxide. It is using less than 75 ore, which is fantastic, since my previous antimony oxide setup processes 75 ore, effectively 75 ore, into 5.5 units of antimony oxide. So, yeah, this makes a lot more. How long until train upgrades? We essentially will have chem science by the time we are able to do the train upgrades. So, relatively shortly, but also obnoxiously long ways away. Because we need circuit 2s in order to produce novens. You have to get into circuit 2s for the noven codex, as well as the noven culture building to create novens in the first place, and they need the self-assembly monolayer material, which is a direct ingredient for chem science packs. So by the time we can make trains, I will have everything except nuclear samples for our advanced trains. When we make advanced trains, it'll be everything but one ingredient for chem science. Yeah. it's muchness to do before then. Okay, Kevlar. Still trying to decide exactly what I want to do next, because we will need to do antimony for the pulp 2, which is like the whole thing. Granted, the pulp 2 only makes 6.43, only, quote unquote, makes 6.43. We'd still end up with more antimony than we currently have if we were to take all of our pulp 2 away from the system. But, nah. This also uses a lot of plastic, by the way. It's always a 1-to-1 on plastic to antimony oxide. It sort of sucks in that way, but antimony oxide is a productive recipe. We can use productivity on these recipes. It is glorious. One of very few ore recipes that allows productivity on it, on at least the last steps. Like, my goodness, it does need them. Cough, cough. It does need them as the only way of improving plastic to oxide output on it. The rest of the ore processing itself does not take productivity, of course, but the end step does, which is ideal, because it's not like there's a like molten casting of antimony oxide to help improve the outputs. It needs something to improve beyond the couple of extra recipes that you get that are more complex. There's one more phase of processing beyond this, but that's all you get for the rest of the game. There's no sintering, as far as I can tell, for antimony. But I am looking forward to having chem science. That is going to be a huge milestone. A huge milestone. And change to basically everything. A lot happens when you get access to the stuffs, to the chem science techs. There are so many upgrades at the chem science tech level that become available. Alright, all that has power. Great. So that counts-ish as that stuff, although I should note the volumes here. Because this is actually overbuilt for what I need, I think. Yeah, we have ones on everything, so I don't need you. I only need one on the terephthalloyl chloride. Yeah, only need one of you. I think I only need one on the acid gas to... Yep, only need one of you. Only need one of the gas processing units, oh boy. There we go. There we go. I will also note that my base is prepared already for the train upgrades. The advanced trains use gas canisters as their fuel source, and all of my train stations have the ability to provide gas canisters. What I will need to do once I've completed the transition to advanced trains, because there will be a period of time where I will have a mix of advanced trains and regular trains as I work on upgrading the 300 trains around the base, 357 trains around the base. Once they're all upgraded, it's at that point that I have to go through every single one of my fuel stations again to prepare them for the next upgrade to the trains, which the next upgrade to the trains will be the Nextlet trains. Actually, I should search locomotive. At level 3, we get the high-tech floating locomotives. These are using a few extra things compared to previously. But these guys, they go fast. They do not weigh much either. They do things. They apparently also have an equipment grid. Oh boy. Oh boy. But these things use Nextlet batteries. These things use Nextlet batteries. The Nextlet batteries are recharged in particle accelerators. So that's a gigawatt per particle accelerator, like 1.2 gigawatts of power consumed when they are active, and a very large like baseline power draw as well, just replacing them. But the Nextlet battery has a 500 megajoule fuel value, so they do last a very long time. And they double vehicle acceleration. And increase the vehicle speed by 50% compared to baseline. Note the difference between 200% and plus 200%, and the difference between 150% and plus 150%. There's a difference there. There's a difference. Oh boy. So yeah, that will be nice. That will be nice when we get access to those. That will be a huge upgrade. And then there's another upgrade after that, because of course there is, that uses a different type of battery. It uses a organic quantum battery for the superior floating locomotives. Now, I don't know if these are going to be necessary. Let me be perfectly clear. I don't think that these will be necessary. They are better than the previous train, but the previous train is so good. I'm going to do it anyway. I am going to do the transition anyway. But so as we are aware, there are also these that exist. The wagons hold 80 units, or 80 stacks, excuse me, of stuff on the storage wagons at superior floating. At regular one, they also hold 80 at the Nextlet wagons. They hold 80 already. So it's like, okay, we go from 80 to 80, but this is weight 400 versus weight, where's weight 500? So yeah, they get extra acceleration because of that. And the acceleration power here is 700 kilowatts. What's the acceleration power here? Does it even tell me? No, because it has the equipment grid making the stats go off the screen. Oh boy. Because the ingredient list is so long, makes the stats go off the screen. Great. So I can't actually compare like vehicle max speed and acceleration power very easily. Wonderful. Wonderful. But the advanced cargo wagons still only hold 20. I think that this is a bug, by the way. Hey, not Melon. Hey, King Arthur. Hey, Pyandon. Why do these only have 20 slots? That's the same as the basic wagon. Surely this should be 40 slots, right? Because as it is, we go from 20 to 80. There is no 40 slot wagon that exists in the game right now. We go from 20 to 20 to 80 to 80. Yeah, they should be 40. They should really be 40 slots. The storage volume on the advanced fluid wagon also does not change. We go from 25 to 25K. There is no change on that volume for fluids. Over here, this one is 75K for the Nextlet wagon, and then the superior wagon is also 75K. There is no change. between these two trains, and there is no change between these two trains. Why? Should there not be a linear progression? Should there not be a linear progression between, like, mark level of train? 1, 2, 3, and 4? If this one is 25 for a fluid wagon, why is this not 50? Why is this not 50 and then 75 and then 100? This should be 100K, and this should be like 100 storage size, something like that. Or better yet, this wagon should actually get nerfed to 60. It should be 20, 40, 60, 80. Just some thoughts. Just some train thoughts. Cargo wagons should scale 20, 40, 60, 80, and fluid wagons should be 25, 50, 75, 100. Half as long? You're telling me the wagons are physically shorter? Hold on. Hold on. I need to look at this, because that could literally screw the entire base and be such a stupid design decision. What can I get rid of on here easily? Red wires go. Industry. Hey. So this wagon that's so dumb. These are full size, normal size. And what about you? Are you half? Oh god. Yes, you are half as well. It's the freaking physical size. Meow. Hi, Dolly. How's the baby? Meow. Camera straighten. Off she goes. Great, right as I get the camera straightened. So what the hell am I going to do with bulk rail loaders then? I need someone to test this on, like, a creative save. Can the bulk rail loaders interact with two entities at the same time? Because that would completely ruin the entire base if these upgraded wagons can't interact properly with bulk rail loaders. I would need them to interact with two segments at the same time, essentially. So I don't know. I don't know about this. About them being half size like that. I really don't know. I don't think I like that very much. All right. Let's set up the nitrobenzene for the paraphenyl. Phenylene diamine. Yeah, paraphenyline diamine. I'm assuming that the P at the beginning is para, short for paraphenyline diamine. Oh boy. No, start here. This be step 1, I think. Does this be step 1? Why am I coking out of naphthalene oil? Why am I coking out of naphthalene oil? That seems like wholly inappropriate. Kevlar. Why am I producing aromatics locally? Like, that seems rather dumb. I know exactly why I'm doing it locally. It's a dummy entry. So, I did that. I did that as a dummy entry just so that I could have the proper values. Like, I could set lignin to aromatics in here. It does not matter. I set it up that way because Helmod is stupid with its matrix solver. It would want to make aromatics up to the amount that I need when what I actually want is to max the only the benzene is what I want from this. And I want to supplement aromatics with a station. So this actually starts here. You think he done change for it. Who does what change? Would be my question. Is the question, is Pyanodon changing the train wagons, or are bulk rail loaders changing to be compatible with the wagons? Do they even need to change to be compatible with the wagons? That's a even better question. Do we even need a change? Oh, the sad part is that I need to do this process for nitrobenzene in other places. I got a little bit sad, shall we say. I became ever so mildly sad when I was looking at iron oxide requirements. Just a little bit sad. A bit. Bulk rail loader changelog. You know what? Let's look at that. I remember there being something with bulk rail loaders. Yeah, I know that loaders will work. It's just that it changes my design fundamentally on the train stations because add support for loading 2 half-size pie wagons. Great. It's right there. It's in the changelog. They did change it. Okay, so they work, but my concern was that bulk rail loaders are more than just loaders. They are in-place warehouses. And that's what would break, because I would need I would have needed to have added warehouses to my station designs. Separate warehouses, which would fundamentally change. Like, I would have to rebuild a lot of stuff, potentially. Because I would not have room for warehouses. Anyway. So they did change and update the stuffs. Screw it. Screw it. I'm venting. I'm venting. Goodbye. Goodbye stuff. I will not miss you. Because I'm going to be bringing in aromatics by train regardless. The point here is not the aromatics, the point was the benzene. And this way I don't have any, I don't have to deal with, like, soot. I don't have a solid that I need to rid myself of in this process. So that should be everything, right? There we go. I don't really talk about the burner setup. Well, burners, I believe the last time I calculated it, they're 3.3 repeating items per second. It's, da-da-da-da-da. I can just look at any particular item, void recipe. So it's one item every 0.2 in a 0.3 crafting speed recipe. So a burner... Burner is crafting speed 5. Ba-ba-ba-ba. 2 times 5. Huh? The math eludes me. It's a lot. It can do a lot per building. What random item? PPD, I guess. Void recipe. Oh, it's right. It's one item every 0.3 seconds, but it's it's one every 0.3, but it's a crafting speed 5. One every 0.3 is 3.3 items per second repeating. 3 and a third. Yeah, so my 3 burner setup that I have is 6.6 repeating per pair, or per pair, so this does 6.6 repeating, and this would do double that, so not quite 15 off of this, because the middle one doesn't take any input. The middle one is here just to kill Ash. So I would need an extra. That would do more than 15. but it would be guaranteed 15 off of something this long. But if you're doing ash only, if you're doing regular ash only, it looks a little different because you don't need to feed the neighbors. If it's unstacked ash that you are voiding, you can have the buildings not feed into each other and have them cycle back. Essentially, it's the middle. It's essentially just a line of this guy. It's just a line of this guy with the input from the belt. Just all of them are that middle one. And in that way, then you get 3.3 times 3 plus 3.3 plus 3.3 plus 3.3 plus 3.3 plus 3.3, and so you have whatever you need. However, if you are dealing with stacked ash, that counts as a different item. You need this arrangement for stacked ash. Because stacked ash has the point whatever chance of producing regular ash as a byproduct. Anyway, stuff, things, you, next. First, atomizer use. That's gonna make this. Then this guy down here. Then two of these guys down here. Oh right, I'm not making the organic solvent locally now, am I? Logistics! Logistics time. Oh boy. You are a solid item input. Oh, 4 items. Okay. 1.2, 2.4, 4.8. This uses 2 guts each. And it needs a fuel. Right, and it needs a fuel. I will share the belt with the fuel. Oh, that also means it makes ash. Okay, my fuel will not be raw coal. My fuel will be something biotic. Am I bringing in something I can make into biomass? As much as I don't want to do that. No, I'm just gonna bring in a organic fuel. Logs or something. And use that instead. I don't want to deal with the ash. I don't want to deal with the ash. And I'd rather not burn cellulose. I mean, the best option would be to set up tar into biomass and use the biomass, but how much biomass would I need is the question. Yo, biomass. Hey. Stacked biomass, actually. Biomass. If I just look at regular biomass here. 12.8. Alright, nah. We're going to shift this down a little bit. And speaking of voiding lines. Speaking of voiding lines. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. This will consume 2 something stacked coal, stacked raw coal. 0.22. Yeah. Yeah. Hi, so I cannot share. Ta-da. That goes down at least one. And then ammonia. Okay, that's all that. That makes the PPD. You cobalt extract Yotoy in here. Have I included the... Yes. Yes, I have. Oh, excuse me? Oh. You know, sometimes I don't think about things. Okay. That works. At least that had better work. It had dang well better. That makes PPD. This will take in PPD and nylon, and TCl and organic solvent. Why, hello, my dolly. Welcome to the chair. My baby. Alright, now to build the train station, get everything brought in, huh? This is gonna be interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay, how many inputs do we have? Oh god, that is, 17. 9 plus 8. How many are solids? 11. Oh, that's just wonderful. How many fluids? One, two, three, four, five. Alright, I may need to, tighten. I may need to tighten things a bit in here. Yeah. I need to shift a bit. So, goodbye all of that. That should be 11. Should be 11. It is 11. Okay. Now the question is, can we fit 5? 5 of the fluids. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Barely. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I need one more fluid input. Huh. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-dum. Ta-da! Why do you think I have this here in the first place, huh? Ay, ay, ay. I could have shifted up the whole thing ever so slightly. Yeah, so this makes the logistics a bit more difficult, shall we say, by being smushed. We are smushed, but we can manage, I hope. Alright, what is going where? That is always question of the century. That goes where? Alright, well, up here, we have these two. Okay, I guess you'll be tar. And then these two are the methanol and syngas. Oh, wonderful. Alright, who's what? You are methanol. Alright. Methanol. Syngas. Syngas? Hello? Syngas? Syngas? Hi. I apparently need more locomotives on syngas. This is getting 2,000 units per second of syngas. I apparently need more locomotives to move that many. Alright, well, also, I got supremely distracted. We were talking about the locomotives. I got supremely distracted about the size difference on the locomotives. That absolutely explains why the size does not change. So I guess all of my thoughts about the size of the amount of stuff held in each wagon, my arguments go out the window when the actual physical size of the wagon is smaller, is half the size. So it's like, okay. So our advanced cargo wagons, even though they hold the same amount of stuff as the regular wagons, they're half the size. So the density does not change based off of the size. It's just going to be really weird having our trains be 1-4 layouts. Ooh. You know, the bulk rail loaders may have changed to be compatible with the half-size wagons, but under normal circumstances, there is a one-tile gap that exists, but, well, a one-unit gap of rail between the two normal cargo wagons on the ability to unload from them. Even if bulk rail loaders can work with the half-sized versions of the wagons, I don't know if this is going to screw it up. I don't know if in order to work with the half-size wagons, we actually need these to be abutting in some way. Because right now, this is the spacing. Anyway, that is my alarm to indicate that I am halfway through the stream already. But logistics. I need to take a break. So I will be back in just a few minutes to finish off this build and move on to greater things. I will be back shortly. I have returned. Welcome back. As the game plays the exact same track that I was just playing. This is always interesting. Okay, where was I? We are finishing our logistics. I'm going to be sending this tar where I need the tar to go. I think it is this line. No, it is not this line. What is it? Where is it? Where does it go? Here. This is the line. This is the line the tar shall flow. Okay, well that's the tar. Next, solid inputs. Solid inputs. I need sulfur. This line be a sulfur line. Okay. Sulfur. Oh boy. So yeah, this has to apply to basically the whole way down. Every single one of those. That's how we get the stuff brought out. That wonderful arrangement. Semi-cursed arrangement, but whatever. Request sulfur at Kevlar. Bring me my sulfur. Next. Manure bacteria. Okay. The manure bacteria needs the petri dishes, agar, and manure, of course. So we have a shared line between petri dishes and agar, as well as a manure line. So I don't need that. There we go. The manure line is on the outside, so actually it sucks that I did that in that way. Whatever. Our agar at Kevlar. Our petri at Kevlar. And our manure at Kevlar. Let there be agar. Let there be petri. And let there be manure. Manure. Come on down. Next. The terephthalate chloride needs something. What does it need? It needs cobalt extract and yotoi aloe. That would be this line. Another shared line. So I will grab that and plonk here. Request yotoi aloe, not aloe, fruit. Fruit! At Kevlar. And request cobalt extract at Kevlar. If I even have any. That is something that needs to get scaled. That will be very painful to scale in the current state of the base. And I'm not even kidding about that. It will be very painful to scale the cobalt extract at this point in time. primarily because of the cyanic acid. I have been floating the idea of meat-based cyanic acid. It has been a very serious contender for an option for cyanic on cobalt extract, because I do not get the recipe to convert ammonia into cyanic until chem science, at least. Or is it even later? Oh god, it's even later. It's Pi 3. We don't get an easier way of getting into cyanic until Pi 3. Our only choices are bad ones. And in this case, I think that, honestly, the atomizing of cyanic is our only good option at scale for this, because we can get meat from like 5 augs. And with bedding, I would be able to do it with 32 aug paddocks. Assuming I have enough bedding, which I would need 3.75 bedding just to get 4 cobalt extract. Which is not kind at all in any circumstance, but maybe better than the urea. Maybe better than the urea option. I actually need to compare it to the urea option. Oh, did I literally have the same thing copied twice? Dang it. Where's the original? Where's our original recipe? I might need to recreate it. Yo. Cobalt. Cobalt extract, because we need infinity of you. I don't care about the ores, I care about the cyanic. Cyanic. Yeah. Yeah. So, about that. Oh, right. A more complete... dang. This makes 500 blood, you know? This makes 500 blood, so... Realistically, if I'm going to be as efficient as possible, I should be doing the blood to urea as well on here. And, that would be the way to go. That would be the way to go. For our cyanic production. Alright, that way I'm only dealing with 3.64 augs. Okay, that's a bit of a reduction there by using the blood and the meat to produce the cyanic. I'll have to make it work. This makes 4. I could compare with 5, but... Numbers? Numbers are numbers. They're just numbers, quote unquote. They're only numbers. I think I can make this happen. I think I can make this happen. It's just supremely painful to make this happen. Anyway, let's stop dodging the work that I need to do. The next line is urea. The next 2 lines. Hold up. Why? There are 4 more things. There are 3 more belts. This belt is guts. This belt what am I missing? I'm missing... Oh. I'm missing the fact that I don't need lignin. And therefore do not need 11. I needed 10, which, you know, had I not been so dumb, I'd have been able to put my other thingy down here. Great. Wonderful. Like, hold up, something doesn't look right here. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't now, does it? Because, you know, that means something isn't right. It isn't right. Alright, well, this one is guts. Our guts at Kevlar. Next one is rock hole. Last one is... what? What is the last one? The last one is nylon. Alright, get those requests in. Guts. Rock coal and nylon. Then we have to provide power to the everything. Don't need power there. Need power here and here. SD. Full cargo. Circuit condition. Auto. Magic. Lesson. Define. Kevlar. Yes, this has taken way longer than I anticipated it would, but oh well. We had a lot of talk. A lot of important discussions. Okay, what are we looking at here? We need to unstack the ammonia. That's a good step 1. I need to unstack the manure. That's a good step 2. There you go. I need to unstack the agar. That too. That's That's a little bit more difficult of a swap. Just a bit more. Difficult, just a little. I sort of need to clean up the entire belt line on this one. Oops. Oopsies. Pick up all of this stacked agar. I wish that the game could actually just use the stacked items, but oh well, they can't. It's not smart enough to be like, hey, this is that item, it's 5 of that item. Oh well. I would like to see a vanilla compression mechanic. And whatever comes next. That would be nice. In a way that the game just knows that it's X number of said item. And let you shove it in. Be some sort of a tech unlock, like packaging or some description. La-di-di-da, taking its sweet time. Almost there. Almost there. That's it, we got it. Good. That's manure bacteria. Oh, right, gasoline needs to be hooked up, as does nitrogen. Gas and nitrogen. That needs to be moved a tile over. Not exactly sure who is what here, but like which one's left, which one's right. But I'll manage. Alright, who's what? Gasoline, nitrogen. Nitrogen is on the left. Gasoline on the right, and then the final one what is our last fluid being brought in? Organic solvent. Alright, pipe, you'll come down here. And there we go. Ta-da! Once we get a delivery on nitrogen and the organic solvent, we should see some Kevlar getting made. Yep, that's stacked too. That is also stacked. That is most definitely a stacked item. Where are the stacked guts? There you are. Oh look, more stacked guts. They're on their way. Come on down. Stacked guts. There goes, atomizing. We don't get to see these that often. We don't get to see these moving that often. There they go. I'm sure Pyanodon is very happy to see these actually in use. For once. A rarity. A rarity of these days. Actually using the atomizers. And there's our PPD getting made. Our the paraphenylene diamine. Just need TCl, the terephthalonyl chloride. Terephthalonyl? Oh, terephthalonyl. Wherefore art thou? Terephthalonyl? Oh yeah, I need to overflow sink on tall oil. Oh, terephthalonyl. Oh, right. Aromatics. Where's... Where's aromatics at? Where's my steam voiding at? So many errors. 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 There are 4 depots of aromatics, and yet there's no single train available right now to bring me aromatics. That's odd. Anyway, that's Kevlar. It took 2 hours. Oh, great. Great job, me. Great job, me. I could have shifted the whole thing down a little bit as well, but oh well. Oh wells. That will move when the Kevlar, when the aromatics show up. It will move. I guarantee it. It will move. It will begin to move as soon as the TCL gets here, gets made. That will be a wonderful time. Glowy is glowy. Glowy and sparky. Yeah, once we get TCL, that will move on Kevlar, and everything is already set up for it. Elsewise, it's time to move on. What are we setting up next? We are setting up optical fiber next. That is what we shall do. It is 100% dependent upon me having access to molten glass, which I technically have. I don't have a dedicated, like, molten glass, but I do have molten glass. Oh, right, I need to put on the niobium complex onto the train network. That is necessary. Where is Neo? Neo is here. just went past it. Great. Neo. Go there. I need to get it provided onto the train network as niobium complex. I do not want to do more processing of it. I just want the complex on the network through a fluid supply station. What? Great. Fantastic, me. I don't have enough, pumps. Not enough pumpages. So I guess I am going back to the mall anyway. Yeah, I don't want to... yeah, I don't want to scale this for more production because I would have to produce more organic solvent ultimately and more hydrogen chloride. By the way, I totally have hydrogen chloride like on my train network. I should really use it at some point. Use it more often. Yeah, because the most unfortunate part about niobium is that the most difficult fluids make the complex. So even though you get like an enhancement by using complex instead of plates, like the only things that you're saving are salt. Because you can make nitrogen straight from nothing. You're like, it's salt. That's the only like savings. It doesn't spare you from one of the fluids that you need to throw at it. If it spared you one of these two fluids, that would be just great. That would be great. It'd be lovely. Yet it does not. God, I still can't get around this being... I still can't get around this being half size. The superior ones look good, though. This guy looks decent. Looks decent. Little awkward with those numbers, though, being like upside down, but eh. How about the... Oh, they're balls. They're balls! They're big balls! And the actual locomotive itself looks like that. Looking like that. And when it has the wagons on it, it would look like that. You know, looks a little dumb. I don't know about you. Looks a little dumb, but anyway. It looks a little stupid, frankly. I think the locomotive looks okay, but those wagons... the wagon, not so much. Not so much. The locomotive is okay. Wagon, nah. I mean, this guy's okay. But these guys, like, imagine just super long snake of those, potentially, depending on how you built your base. These look better. This looks better, yes, because it's everything is rounded. It looks better when everything is rounded like this. This is better. The cargo, though, this guy, now you've got squares and circles, and that doesn't really look right. I don't like the numbers on these. I don't like the numbers at all. And it is too squared. A bit too squared. It'd be 4. Or maybe it would be 5, because the fourth one would be one that would be empty at all times. Maybe that's how it would end up working. Maybe that's how it would end up working. Hold on. With the... That says advanced locomotive, and yet it says Mark II cargo. Ah. Okay. So, Pyanodon. What's the front of this locomotive? I am going to get supremely confused between the front of this and the back. It looks a little bit like a like one of those Jawa trawlers. It looks a bit like a Jawa trawler, but with that angled front. And then you got 4 of those. Those are like meh. And the fluid versions look like big batteries. These just look like batteries. Alright, have we restocked? I sure hope so. Back we go to niobium. I technically don't physically need to go. Oh. Did I really? Ta-da! Okay, we're here. So I'm gonna do that, like, ghost entity thing with the, like, over a bulk rail loader, so I can see the spacing. Because I may need 5, with 4 getting used of the wagons, given my, spacing on the bulk rail loaders. It may be 1-5, because I'm not gonna go and redo all of my bulk rail loaders. So it would snap to there, and the cargo wagon. We have 1, 2. Okay, it is built in. There is a gap. There is an equivalent gap. It had better work as 4. It had better work as 4 with these. Can I get rid of that ghost entity? No? Alright. That got rid of it. How about the, excuse me, how about the advanced locomotive wagons? Will these behave the same? God, I hope so. I sure hope so. No, I'm not gonna have another locomotive on the end. I've built to be one locomotive at the front. Meow. Meow, 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 meow. Mr. Ollie? I hear my Ollie. Oh, I feel my Ollie. I feel Ollie. Rubbing my leg. Is he rubbies? Ollie. Fluid count. Greater than equal to... how much? 2,000? Go. Be free. I'm not exactly sure how much complex gets made in that factory. Ollie, would you get down? Ollie, get down. Come on out. Yesterday I had Ollie next to me on the desk, and I had my leg up against the back wall. I had my foot up against the back wall, sort of using the wall as an ottoman, and I brought my leg down and my foot caught on the wire for my keyboard and like pulled my keyboard towards my monitor and the wall. I looked next to me, the cat's gone. Ollie was gone. And I looked to the side towards the floor, my garbage can was knocked over. He was sleeping. But when my foot caught on the keyboard and suddenly moved, he was gone. He disappeared within a half of a second. He was out of there. Niobium complex, there you go. He gone. He gone. He left. And then when he was like starting to make his way back, all cautious, like looking around the green screen, Dolly was in the window. She was in the window, and she was like poking her head out the window, like, what's going on? Like, what's up? And he was like all scared. He's like looking at her, like, what's that motion from her in the window? Because he was all skittish at everything at that point. Great. So, where are we building this glorious factory? And how quickly can I do it as well? Answer, probably not very, considering I haven't even broken down all of the steps of this factory. Since, oh god, that's a few things. Alright, so I'm gonna break this down to the like tar recipe, same as before. The ammonia out of urea direct. Sulfuric acid, like we know with sulfuric acid what that's all about. We have this and this. Matrix solver, please. Excuse me, game? Oh, right, water. Ba 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 ba. Ethanol. Yes, it's a few inputs, huh? It's a few ingredients. Iron niobium alloy. Have I put that on my train network yet? I don't think I have done that yet. Do I have access? I don't have access to the molten recipe until chemical science. Well, ain't that lovely? So I will need to make this local, which means now we have yet another ingredient on this factory. Meow. Mr. Cat? That's Mr. Cat. I'm just thinking how I can separate stuff from this factory. Do I need cladding for literally anything else? No. Glass cores for literally anything else? No. Cladded cores for literally anything else? Yes. I need cladded cores for other things. Do I need copper coating for anything else? Yes. Capacitor cores use copper coating. Does Kevlar coating get used for anything else? No. So we're gonna split this into a cladded core factory. We're going to have a cladded core factory, ideally a separate nitrobenzene factory. And I'm just gonna have to make this local. So this will now be 3 separate factories. And my intent what's going on here? Why does it want to make so much stuff? I guess it's trying to do something. I don't know what it's trying to do. Anyway, I'm going to be grabbing nitrobenzene from the build that we just did. here. I am going to find a way to fit a fluid supply station in here. I need to find a way to get the Kevlar into this. While allowing me to delete that. Yes, why no Kevlar? BTW. Where's the Kevlar? Oh, right. Duh. Gas vent on Steam, not sinkhole. Right, there's the Kevlar. He's moving now. S nitro benzene. D nitro benzene. Because I really don't want to have to copy essentially this entire thing again. I don't want to copy this entire thing yet again. So yeah, we're gonna have this be nitrobenzene. Now, how much nitrobenzene do I need? 834 for the one optical fiber? Ultimately, 834 on the 0.17 cladded core, but we're gonna go with one. I need 50. So 50 will require these numbers. Oh joy, oh bliss. Okay, you're moving. I will need how many? Only the one on the ammonia. I'm going to add one then on the ammonia. For the benzene, it is 13 of these. Well, alrighty then. 13 of you. And 5 of you. Alright. And we don't use terephthalate chloride for that build, for this build, but we do need sulfuric acid. For the sulfuric acid, we need 4 of this building. It's at this point I'm going to actually just move that to the other side. you. Acid, 5 of you. Two of these. Okay, now how am I gonna get this connected? How am I gonna logisticize this? Well, there's one. What about the other? Great question. How many? Other side? I guess? That'll do. That'll do. Give me... what? What in the world? There's like an extra pipe segment that was there. Still should only need one of these buildings. Yes. Okay, that should be 1, 2, 5, 4. 1. Don't need this as part of this build. 5 of these, 13 of these, 4. Well, a +1 on you, and 2 on you, and 2 makes exactly 50. So realistically, we do another +1. This should be an, like, additionally type situation. Meaning I should need more than the 13 of these, but whatever, we will be overproducing on the cores, cladded cores. Ollie, what you doing? What you doing, Ollie? Where you moving? Where you moving? There he is. There's the boy. Yeah. Big Ollie. Well, alright then. Let's get the extra nitrobenzene onto the train network. Put down an overflow valve so that we can add nitrobenzene to 2 of the trains. Supply, depot, full cargo, circuit condition, fluid count of nitrobenzene greater than or equal to 2,000 units. That's a bit much, actually. 50 times 120. Oh no, that's actually fine. 5,000 units set. I could set it to 6,000 units. Scroll down. Oh, there it is. Nitro. Nitrobenzene. Okay. That was the quote-unquote easy part. That right there, that was the easy part. Next, the not as easy part, but easier, now that I have the nitrobenzene provided. It is a 3-step process with a 9-item input station. Oh, great. Don't you just love all of these glorious inputs? It's gonna be right here. Right, close. That. By the way, this is way more complex than I believe that I have. Because right now, how much would I have? Where is this? I would have 22 and a half. If I wasn't eating any plates. So, can I support 1 per second? No, but I can definitely support more than the what I need for the one optical fiber. Speaking of which, for the current science requirement, hello. Hello, 0.84 and 0.4. Yeah. I would need more than one of these. But it's only 0.7 on the cladded cores. I should probably put 2 there, shouldn't I? Yeah. I should probably just put 2 there. Be ready for the future. But still, this is a third of a cladded core. A third of that value. I still would need to expand my niobium complex a bit, but it's not as pressing. It's not as pressing of an issue. Okay. Train station is what? Looks like what? We've got how many solids and how many fluids? For our solids, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. For our fluids, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ta-da. It's nice having space. I don't think I've built this way yet, right? I've not separated cladded cores before from an optical fiber build. So this is a little bit new to me. Now, normally I build from here up, but I'll actually start closer to here this time around because it's relatively small of a build. Okay. It would help if these were aligned. Aligned. See? We are aligned. Alright, now to throw a whole bunch of stuff at it. Okay. I will adjust the spacing as well on this. Silver, sulfur will share. That whole thing, shift down. I'll leave a tile of gap. And then the output is well within one of these. There that goes. Then I can go up. Have that be a thing. Then individual throughputs are tiny on you, so it's 2 belts. Lower the thing for a gap of 1. Shift for alignment sake. And that is essentially that for the actual factory itself. I will need to give it power. Ta-da. And then inputs. Alright. Sounds like a plan. What is input here? Glass? I believe my glass is stacked. I do not believe that we will see any optical fibers today, by the way. Even if I were to begin work on the optical fiber factory, I don't think that there's enough time to finish it. Unfortunately. Ah, that is a distance that you have covered. Wonderful. That'll be all that. So first pipe is niobium complex. Second pipe is nitro and benzene at cladded cores. Third pipe is hot air. Fourth pipe is gasoline. Last one is molten glass. Hottest of hot air, on your way. Okay, 3 solids. We have sulfur silver and aramid. Okay, sulfur. Silver. Aramid. Neither of these are stacked. Don't think aramid is either. Alright, locomotive, wagon, limit. Supply, depot, full cargo. Circuit condition, auto magic. That is that. Aramid's in. Silver and sulfur are on their way. But we have our glass and our hot air already for those cores. We've got cladding on its moving already. So yeah, just need the sulfur silver to arrive. There's the silver, and there's the sulfur. They hath arrived. Glorious. We are absolutely fundamentally limited by a neobium complex in this build, but yeah, it should begin to move once that sulfur and silver arrives. But so I can continue working here, I am going to move on. Next up is the actual factory for optical fibers. This one is another 9 stations. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 solid inputs and 2 fluids. So it's not a straight copy. It's not a straight copy of the factory. Extremely tempting to put this here. So I shall. Okay. Goodbye, copper. I will not miss you in the slightest. I can absolutely fit this many stations, requester stations, in this space. Let's get to it as quickly as I can. Maybe we could potentially see some optical fiber. I have my doubts. It will take time for the cladded cores to exist in sufficient quantities to end up in the depot. Might manually move it, but we shall see. Okay. Most of these are solid requests, so let's go with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nanobots, do your job. Good enough. Now, are we in construction radius? My construction bots will finish that. We'll place those pumps. Okay, now it's just a matter of building the thingy. Start from the tippy top. Oh, I will need a, right, I will need a solid, one more solid input station for a solid fuel. Because, you know, I do this thing known as voiding. I need a solid fuel for voiding. That is not currently among the requests. You know what? I'm just going to call it OF. The rest of this I'll do when I need it. You up here. Yeah, start here. This will of course be replaced when I have the complex molten recipe. Complex molten iron. So this is 2 solids and a fluid. Bring on the syngas. Need more trains. I need more trains. Yeah, the thing with the tar was, I'm sure not very pleasant for anyone who had, or later in the game, at the time. I can't do this arrangement. Yes, when it comes to sheer willpower, I do have enough, I think, to complete the game, considering especially that this is the 4th time I'm playing through the game to completion. Yeah. Of PyAE mods. RF. OF. Yeah, good luck with changing those tar buildings to the new tar processing units. I actually just did a video talking about the new setups with tar processing. just the other day I did this thing. That's you. Next is this. And there's the organic solvent input. When/if we get more organic solvent. Cough, cough, cough. Hack, wheeze. Copper-cladded cores. Okay, those will share again. And it is the exact same belt arrangement. Oopsies. The exact same belt arrangement. You know, that happens all the time, but I think this is the first time that it's happened in reverse. Often I would name, like, our cladded cores at copper after writing copper at OF. This time I ended up writing copper at cladded cores, the one that I was doing next, rather than at the actual destination. Hey, we actually have the cladded cores. Cool. Wonderful and beautiful stuffs. Gib. Next. You. Oh joy, oh bliss. You make how much? 0.33. Alright, well, whatever. Whoops, wrong way. Next up is all by its lonesome. We have Kevlar. Bring on the Kevlar. The Lariest of Kevlar. Next. You. Yes, this is the step where we get to bring this down, combine, and throw that in there. Out that goes. That is iron niobium coating. That hangs out for a bit while I slaughter. Yeah, just a few buildings required to do this slaughtering. And this is what will take the most time to set up of all of the stuff here. La da 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 da. I guess the next items are our trits at OF and then our plastic. Bring me trits and bring me plastic. Where does plastic live now? Where does plastic live now? Oh, it was moved to petroleum handling. Wonderful. Okay, throughputs and other important aspects to note. Pretty sure all these numbers add up to a value that is less than 15. So all of the outputs will be mixed. I don't give a dang about that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 items per second, it looks like. Whoops. Buttons. Oh yeah, I have all the text I can take right now, by the way. If you hadn't noticed. If you hadn't noticed by now, I has them all. I would need to get another science. I could get another science. I could get military and take some more military techs, or take military techs, period, but don't need to. Not yet, anyway. Okay, Tritz, are you here? Hath you arrived? Not quite yet. Okay, I need a filter on photophores. And this is void line. I am not going to stack but I'll add extras because it's a mixed belt line. And this is where that stuff is going. And last but not least, these two buildings right here. What's the throughput? Small, tiny, insignificant. And they do one each. Yep. Yippers. Looks like we will actually see some optical fiber today. Supply, depot, full cargo, circuit condition, auto magic, go. Alright, fuel. You do not need to go to fuel stop. Sorry, but no. 2 per second. We'll keep it at a stack at a time. 2 stacks at a time. Define. Optical fiber. And that, as they say, is that. Now, all I need to do is get my blood sunk. And there we go. That is that. We have the Photo 4's input on here. Oh, wonderful. There was a little bit of a lane contamination. Right, because I was going to do this differently, yet somehow stuff happened. Oops. Oh well. There we go. It's able to move now. There you go. I need better inserters here if that's going to be how that's arranged. We have them! Optical fiber exists in the base now. It is our next milestone has been completed. We has optical fiber. Huzzah! One less thing necessary for getting into circuit 2s. Oh boy. I am going to do aluminium pulp 1 off screen between streams. That is one thing I will do. I will also need to get moly ore onto the train network. I will do that between streams. The majority of the rest of this we are going to do together. Yeah, I just need to plan. I need to plan some additional factories, but we will do it together. I need to decide how many factories this is going to segment into. The answer will be many factories this will segment into. So, with that being said and done, I don't think there's anything that I can make that's like just needing optical fiber at this point. We could make neuroprocessors while we are making circuit 2s. We've got to make some of these things for the neuroprocessors anyway. But yeah, there's nothing bespoke that we can make with our optical fibers at this point in time. So, over the course of the day today, we have set up Kevlar as well as cladded cores so that I can set up optical fiber. We have optical fiber now. And we have reached the end of today's stream. With that, I would like to thank you all for watching. This has been Otaku Shebot. If you have enjoyed today's stream, please be sure to do all of the social and engagement stuff down below the video. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you've not yet subscribed, and hit the notification bell. Consider becoming a member of the channel by hitting the great big blue join button and supporting on Patreon at patreon.com/OtakuShowboat if you are so inclined and able. I will be back on Tuesday, where we will be working on the remaining factories, many factories, on our way towards Circuit 2s, aka complex circuits. I hope to see you all then.